Hello everyone. This is my first video about Attorney General Bill Barr. Um, Even though it's a farewell ceremony for former Deputy Attorney General, or as they call it, DAG, Rod Rosenstein, as you will see and as the video implies, it's in it's about actually Bill Barr. What do I mean by that?
Oh, say, can you see
Imagine a situation
by the dawn's
when
early
there is a public
light?
servant who, okay, let's say this public servant distinguished himself in the military, fought, let's say, Second World War, in the Second World War, was a hero. Then that person came
Ladies
to
and gentlemen,
public
please be
life,
seated.
became a
Let us
politician,
express our appreciation for the Metropolitan Police
or
Department Honor Guard and vocalist Rhea Walker.
started to work in law enforcement, and distinguished himself again, or herself, of course.
Good afternoon and welcome. I am Jim Kroll,
So,
Director of the Executive Office of U.S.
and
Attorneys.
that
I'm honored
person
to be with you
would
today
climb
as
the
we gather
ladder
for this special
of
ceremony
success
to celebrate
and
the
finally
37th Deputy Attorney
became
General of the United
an Attorney
States,
General.
Rod J. Rosenstein.
And
Before we begin today's
as an
program,
Attorney
please
General,
join me in welcoming on stage our 85th
that
Attorney
person,
General,
hypothetical
William
person,
Barr, our
would
guest of honor,
distinguish
Rod
himself
Rosenstein, the
in
84th
very many
Attorney
ways,
General, Jeff Sessions,
had huge
Assistant Attorney General for
accomplishments,
the Office of Legal Policy, Becky Williams, the Director of the FBI,
enormous
Chris Wray,
accomplishments,
the
and
United States
served
Attorney
as an
for the District
Attorney
of Maryland,
General
Robert
with
Kerr,
distinction,
and Principal Associate Deputy Attorney General,
let's say
Ed
for 20
Llewellyn.
years.
Welcome.
And then he is retiring. Then, what would you expect?
Also joining us today in the audience,
course,
I would like to welcome
of course,
Kellyanne Conway, Counselor to the
an
President,
enormous
Secretary
farewell
of Health and Human Services,
ceremony
Alexander Azar, Senator Richard Burr, Senator
thrown
Tom
to
Cotton,
him
and
by
Congresswoman Susan Brooks, as well as Deputy
someone who
Secretary of
replaces
State
him,
John Sullivan. Thank you all and all of our
and
distinguished guests
that
for being
would
here
be
today.
expected.
Thank you for coming.
Now, I want you to make a conclusion
While
about
there are
what
many special guests with us
had
today,
happened
none
with
are more important
Rod
than the
Rosenstein's
family
farewell
of
ceremony.
Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein. Please
You know,
join
there
me
are
in giving
a lot of
very, very warm
pretty
welcome to Lisa
talented
Barsumian, wife
YouTube
of the Deputy
channels
Attorney General,
that analyze
daughters
body
Julia and
language
Allison, and
of a
parents Robert and
politician
Gary
or
Rosenstein. Welcome.
another public servant or body language of a celebrity, and they're pretty good. They're pretty good. But why you think my channel
The entire
will be
department
unique?
greatly
And this is my
appreciates the
first
enormous support
podcast. This is
that
my
you have
first,
provided to our
the
Deputy
most
Attorney
deepest
General as he dedicated
Jewish,
himself to
Russian,
seeking justice,
American,
to keeping our
whatever,
country safe,
in which
and to
order,
ensuring that the law is enforced
American
equally
first,
and fairly for all.
Jewish, Russian then, with
One
all
of the
my
great
experience
privileges
analysis,
of my career has been to serve under
goes
Deputy
much
Attorney
further.
General
It's a
Rosenstein
deeper
for the
analysis.
past 13 years.
It's not
From the time
a
then U.S.
superficial
Attorney
analysis
Rosenstein hired me as an assistant
of
U.S.
the
Attorney
body
in Maryland,
language. It's
I
the
have
analysis
appreciated
of
his
the fact,
perseverance, his professionalism,
of the
and his
material
unwavering dedication to the rule of law. As Deputy Attorney General,
witness
he brought these qualities with him
of
to
the
Washington, where they have served
forensic
him and us incredibly well for the last 2
forensic
years.
evidence
The
of
department will
history.
miss him,
And
but he
that
leaves behind a legacy
what
of
I
lawyers who
analyze
know what
and
true
I
public
offer
service looks like
my viewers
because of his leadership.
to
Our first
join to
speaker this
analyze
afternoon
too.
is one of those lawyers who, like me, has been fortunate
Who was
enough
Rod
to serve
Rosenstein?
under both U.S. Attorney Rosenstein and Deputy Attorney General
Rod
Rosenstein.
Rosenstein
Robert
was
Hur
a
is the 48th United States Attorney for the
uh,
District of Maryland.
somewhere
Because
district
much of my
attorney,
time
I
in
think in
ODAG,
Maryland,
which is what we call the Office of the Deputy Attorney General,
was
was
he a
punctuated by
distinguished
laughter. The DAG's
prosecutor,
office is blessed with some of
an
the smartest
district attorney
and
there?
most dedicated lawyers in the country. And because our work
Not
is
at
so
all.
serious,
On
thank
the
goodness that
contrary,
we
he
at
was
the DAG
tainted there
had very good sense of
when
humor.
there was a investigation of
times,
uranium
we would say,
one
you can't make this
actions,
stuff up.
all these
You can either
mysterious,
laugh or
probably
you can cry.
treasonous
And I remember a lot of laughter with the DAG,
deals
and I certainly
that,
don't remember any crying.
as a result, a significant part of
To
American
borrow a phrase
uranium
from Tom
mines
Hanks in A League of Their
were
Own,
sold to
there's no
Russia,
crying in ODAG.
talking about Russia.
Now, some of the laughter was mischievous. The DAG has
I
said that one of the best things about a job
come
like
from
his is
former
helping
Soviet
pick the
Union.
people you leave behind. Sir, as you
Bribery is
look
not
around the Great Hall,
unfamiliar
you see so many people
to
whom you have befriended,
Russian culture.
supported,
They are
and
super
led.
professionals in there.
And as you wrote in your
So,
resignation letter, the department and the
at
U.S.
that
Attorney's
time,
offices are staffed with skilled and principled leaders devoted to the
Obama
values
was the
that make
president,
America
Biden
great.
was vice president,
You've advised me that the
and
most important thing
Hillary
I can
was
do as U.S.
obviously
attorney
Secretary of
is to
State.
hire good
The
people.
deal was approved.
I followed
There
that advice.
were in
One
an
of my favorite
investigation
things
of
to do
some
is
kind
to
of
welcome new hires
a
to the office on
corruption
their first day, share with them
of
my
some
thoughts on the
company
importance of safeguarding the department's reputation for integrity,
conducted by
and
the
administer the oath of
Rosenstein.
office.
Somehow it
I know
was
that this
muffled,
oath is familiar to you, sir,
dismissed.
as you have administered it
There
to
were
many
no
AUSAs.
consequences as
We
long
do
as
not
I
swear
know.
oaths to do easy things.
Then,
Oaths are about serious things that require real
uh,
fortitude.
on the advice of Jeff
DAG,
Sessions,
you have fulfilled your oath. You have defended the
which is
Constitution.
another
You
kind
have
of
borne true faith and
person
allegiance to the same.
who needs to
And
be
you have well
analyzed.
and faithfully discharged
Rod
the duties of your office.
Rosenstein
It is
was
hard to imagine the Justice Department
invited
without
as,
Rod
as a
Rosenstein.
DAG, Deputy Attorney
case you're
General to
interested,
Sessions.
Rod Rosenstein shares many qualities
And
with
it
Robert
was
Jackson. He too inspires
pre-designed
those who work for him and
that
with
he
him.
will
He
become,
too has a North
would
Star.
become
And in
an
50 years,
acting
it's
Attorney
easy to imagine
General.
our grandchildren will be quoting words that he said,
And then what happened?
living up to the values that he holds.
Rod
Rod, it
Rosenstein
has been an honor to serve with you.
told
to Lisa, to your parents,
Jeff
to your
Sessions
girls, you should be very proud.
to recuse
And
himself
I find it
from
only
any
appropriate to
meaningful
end with the
activity
Rod Rosenstein quote.
at Department
I
of
devoted my
Justice.
career to law enforcement
What was
because
the
rule of law is
rationale?
the foundation of human liberty.
It was
Before joining the department's leadership, Jeff
absurd,
Sessions served as a United States Attorney
as
for
if
12 years.
Jeff Sessions
Most
did
recently,
it on
General
purpose.
Sessions led the Department of Justice from February of
For some
2017 to
inexplainable
November of
reasons,
2018. It is
he lied
wonderful
to
have
the
him back
Senate
home
about his
on this
meeting
occasion.
with the Russian
Ladies and gentlemen,
ambassador,
please
which
welcome
was
Jeff
completely
Sessions.
illegal, but he lied it, probably
Thank you.
intentionally, to get investigated,
Thank you all.
and then he recused himself.
Thank you.
Rod Rosenstein
Thank you.
became not only a Deputy Attorney General, not only a DAG,
Thank you so much.
but also an acting
Thank
Attorney
you,
General.
Jim, for your remarks and your
With the
service to
strange,
this department.
rodent-like
As EOUSA
Jeff Sessions
director, and your energy and
as
leadership
a
really has played a
puppet
powerful
figure.
role in having the best group of United
And
States
how
attorneys ever.
did
We used to claim my
Rod
class, the
Rosenstein
Reagan
distinguish
class, was the
himself?
best, but this class is the best, and Rod, we
He
helped pick the good group. I think,
appointed
no doubt about it.
Mueller
So I'm honored to be back with all of you to share this special
to
moment
investigate
with Rod and the
non-existent
department
crime
that we love. Today marks the
based on
departure
what?
of one of the Department of
On an
Justice's
article in the
most
New York
important
Times
leaders in its
triggered
history.
by illegal
Rod
activities of
came here
Comey,
almost 29 years ago
who disclosed
and
his
has held the
notes
deputy position in
to New
this,
York
what,
Times
$27
illegally,
billion agency
to obviously to
for a
his
little over
friend,
2
a
years.
professor at
Before that, he
Columbia,
was a member, held a number
who
of key
then
positions in the department,
gave
including being
gave
the
them
United
to
States
New
Attorney
York
for
Times.
Maryland for 12 years. Rod
That
once told me
investigation was a disaster.
only 3% of United States attorneys ever
That
served 12 years,
octogenarian
and that he
Mueller
and I were 2 of them. Now, I
with
don't know how
was a
he
puppet with
calculated that,
figures like Weissman,
but as you know already, he's good with numbers.
working in a Stalinist
Wharton
style,
School of
torturing
Business, perhaps,
people,
had something to do
threatening
with that.
to
some of our
throw to jail the
prosecutors and U.S.
relatives
attorneys
as
know he's
he
good
did
with
with
numbers too, 'cause if they're
General
not
Flynn.
performing, they hear from him about their numbers. Well, I had heard of Rod before I met him and remembered how he was nominated.
There were
by
a lot of
President Bush
illegal
for
things
circuit
done
court
personally
judge
by
seat, but
Rod
was blocked by
Rosenstein.
certain senators. That was another thing we had in
FISA
common.
court filings. He participated
Their
personally in
complaint
them.
was he was too valuable as
Rod
United States
Rosenstein
attorney. They couldn't
is a
lose him.
tainted,
Well, that was a much kinder thing
politically
than they said about
motivated
me. And I can
figure,
say that for you, Rod.
probably
So
involved
as I consider
in
my choice
serious
for Deputy
crimes,
Attorney General,
up
I
to
knew that I had
treasonous,
been away from the
treasonous
department
activities
for
in an
some
attempt
25 years, and that
to
I needed a
remove
proven prosecutor,
the
a
lawfully
crime fighter.
elected
That was going
POTUS,
to be a top priority of what we
our
were doing.
beloved
I wanted someone who
President
understood
Trump.
all the aspects of the department, who knew this department, a strong
This is the
manager,
background.
and a man of the
This
law
is the
who
background.
believed in the law. And
And for
man of
how long
integrity.
this distinguished
So,
Attorney General
he shared my view on
was
so many of
actually
these matters,
Attorney
on
General?
good law enforcement
Officially, he was
policy,
never
that if you do the right
an
things
Attorney General.
effectively, you could make our community
Maybe acting
safer.
Attorney
Crime
General.
does not have
But
to go up if
altogether,
you do it right. He knew that homicides and
since he
violent
came to
crimes had jumped in the previous 2
Washington,
years. He
how
was
long
committed
did
to
it last,
adopting policies
his
that would
tenure?
reverse those
2 years?
trends. We discussed how to identify and confirm
Now-
the great United States Attorney Group that
now
we
you
were
see
moving forward.
that
He
this
understood
lavish
the importance of state and local law enforcement,
farewell
and that
ceremony
it was
thrown
essential
to
for
him
our federal team to
by
work with them
supposedly
if we were going to reduce
supposedly
crime. We
Trump's
discussed the
ally,
importance of enhancing discipline
an intellectual,
in the
a
department,
Renaissance
following our
man,
rules,
Bill
following the
Barr.
rules, following
Let's
the
listen
law,
to his lecture
and
at
avoiding
Notre
the
Dame.
politicalization and
He's
leaks
a
and
Renaissance
other
man.
things that
He's
seem
an
too often
intellectual.
to occur.
He
We discussed
understands
the importance of
the
adhering
culture
to the
war.
rule of law. We discussed
He,
that quite a bit, frankly. Considerably.
one of the most
So,
intelligent
when I recused,
people in
using
the United
recent
States
words
right
of
now.
Attorney General Barr, the baby fell to Rod.
Who else is
That's
highly
just the way it
intellectual
was.
in
The so-called
America
collusion
public life
investigation became
right
his,
now?
and it was no little matter.
Probably
There was a continual uproar.
uh,
Decisions had to be made, and those decisions fell to him.
Victor
fell to him
Davis
alone.
Hanson, a
He had
historian.
become the Attorney
Who
General
else?
for this matter.
Not
He
very
made
many
every
of them,
decision based on his best judgment,
but
what he thought was best for this country.
Bill Barr is
He
extremely
stayed the course during
brainy
some of the most difficult
and
times
well-read.
in the history of the department. So the
Most of
investigation
those
was
people,
ongoing
they
when he
read only their
arrived.
own books.
He didn't start it. And
Some
once
guy
started,
writes
my
15 books
observation
and
over
say,
the
oh, I
years,
wrote
these
15
things
books.
just become
So what?
unstoppable. They have to
Elena
work their
Poe
way.
wrote just one book,
Having worked for independent counsel
or
Ken Starr,
Mark
Rod
Twain
understood better than most the
wrote
nature
Adventures of
of the
Huckleberry
special
Finn,
counsel, its
and they
regulations.
will
He concluded that
survive,
justice would be best
they will
served by
be
appointing a special counsel,
great
and he
for
chose the
hundreds of
respected
years.
Bob Mueller,
And
all
those
in
guys,
accordance
I wrote
with the
15 books.
procedures of the Department of Justice.
In most
These
cases,
procedures
garbage.
had been set up, fortunately, for just such
But
times
no,
as this.
Bill Barr
Perfect justice, according to
reads.
California Supreme
He
Court
knows
Justice
French
Macklin
philosophers.
Fleming
He
a number
knows
of years ago,
the
is
cultural
not
development
achievable, he said,
of
in
Western
this world. Perfect
civilization.
justice
He is
can't
a
be
defender
achieved.
of Western
And to
civilization.
pursue perfect justice, he says, can cause us to lose what judgment we can't.
He understands
achieve.
the
So
role
at the end,
of
our
this
system,
Promethean
judgments
figure
are
of
rendered by juries and
our
judges
beloved
and other
President Donald
adjudicators.
Trump.
Some of those decisions are final and non-reviewable. Some can be reviewed. But
One
in
against
America,
all.
we are committed to a lawful process.
One
We
Prometheus,
believe that truth
Donald
is best
Trump
found
against all
and
this
justice best achieved
horrible
if the
monster
correct process
of
is followed
government
properly,
corruption.
fairly. To deviate from established procedures strikes at the heart
And
of justice
he,
in America. Justice
Bill Barr,
in America.
through
Rod, you
this
did your duty
horrible
as it fell
ceremony
upon you. You didn't ask for it, that's for
to
sure. You initiated the process. You
Rosenstein.
followed the regulations. The system worked
It's so
its will.
syrupy.
What more can a public servant
It's
do?
so absurd.
So I can't close without a word to
Every
Lisa,
word that
your
was
wonderful and
said
supportive
about Rod
spouse,
Rosenstein in this
and
farewell
your
ceremony
fabulous daughters,
was a
Allie
lie.
and Julie. I've gotten to know them. They are so wonderful. And I have to say my admiration for you has risen knowing them.
Beginning
They're so fine.
with this
I
whole
understand
Department of
Appropriations
Justice,
Committee
with
had me
this
set to testify, and the Intelligence
half
Committee, Richard Burr's
communists,
committee,
half
had
Nazis
me. So I
sculptures
decided I've got to go to
of
Richard
justice made
the
in
last minute
1930s.
the great challenges of our age.
Totally
And we can
not
know
talented
full
sculptures,
well also
like no
that
power
you have
of
honorably
image.
overseen this process, which has
These two
affirmed the rule of law,
sculptures
has
complete the
achieved a
picture
degree of justice
of
that
absurd.
is worthy of this great Department of Justice. We thank you for your service. Extend
How
our
do
thanks
they?
also
How is it
to your
possible
team,
they
the
have these
DAGS
two
team,
sculptures
for all the
since
work they've done.
1930s?
In this
And
two-year
nobody
period, there
said,
have been extraordinary
wow,
achievements. Crime has been
it's
reduced
absolutely
after going up for 2
not
consecutive
talented.
years. Strong
Why should it
actions on
stay
a
here?
series of fronts have targeted the opioid epidemic, and they have begun to have positive effects. Violent crime and illegal use of firearms are being vigorously
you to decide.
prosecuted. The law has been followed,
What
and we
does
have more
the ceremony
productivity and utilize the monies of the taxpayers of this country in a most effective way.
tell
So,
you
Rod, thank you for your
about
service.
the
Thank you for being a
Attorney
friend
General
and a loyal partner
Bill
in the
Barr?
efforts and vision and
It's not his
ideals
body
we brought
language.
to the department. God bless you in your future
It's
endeavors.
this particular action language. Think for yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Director Chris Wray.
And this is another interesting figure.
Well, there are a lot
FBI
of great
Director
traditions
Christopher
at this
Wray.
department, but one of them is opportunities like this to all come together at one time and to celebrate the leadership
He
and service
was
of valued
appointed
colleagues
by
like Rod.
President Trump
And I have the honor today
on
of
advice
presenting a gift that carries a
of
special meaning to
Rod
all of us
Rosenstein.
in charged with enforcing the laws of the United States. We have a shadow box
Was
here
Christopher
that
Wray
includes the badges worn by our law enforcement
distinguished
agents, inspectors,
FBI
deputies, marshals,
cop,
and correctional
an
officers.
honest FBI cop
These are folks whose sacrifice is unique.
with decades of
They risk their
FBI
lives, sometimes
experience
tragically we lose
of
them to keep all of
field
us safe.
officer,
The DOJ law enforcement
detective,
organizations represented in this shadow box include
someone
ATF,
who is working on the ground.
DOP, DEA, FBI, Interpol Washington, JMD's
No.
Security and Emergency
He was a
Planning
lawyer,
Staff,
Laconi,
OIG, and the Deputy U.S.
Uh,
Marshals.
and
Rod has spent, as you heard, almost 30 years working in this
why
department. I've known him for
did
almost
Trump
20 of those.
agree
And he's certainly seen his share of change,
to
changes in the
appoint
law,
him?
changes in the way we do business, changes in the threats we all
Did he
face. But
trust
through it
at
all,
that
he has
time the
maintained
opinion
that
of Rod
same
Rosenstein?
level of dedication
Who
and
knows?
service to the American people we all serve. And I know I've been
But
grateful for Rod's
the
counsel
consequences
and
of this
support on
appointment
countless occasions, probably never more so than
make you
when
suspect
he's reafirmed the importance
that
of the long view.
our beloved
To look
President
down the
Trump is a
road
kind of
beyond the
masochist,
Beltway or the latest news cycle
that he
in
likes
confronting both
to
the
be tortured
challenges and the opportunities
by his
that face
enemies.
the department and the bureau.
It's
So,
obvious
Rod, on behalf
now
of the men and women in law enforcement, we appreciate the
that
chance to commend you and ensure that this day is
Christopher
anything but thankless.
Wray
And on behalf
is
of the
Trump's
entire
sworn
Department of Justice,
enemy,
I want to present you this shadow
that
box
he is deep
with
state,
gratitude for your service, for your
that
friendship, for your patriotism. We wish
he
you all the
represents
best in
everything
your next chapter.
that Trump was planning to abolish and replace. By the way,
Guest of honor joined the Department of Justice through the honors program.
there are
in
so many
1990. Our next
distinguished,
speaker was serving
honest
then
FBI
as
cops
Deputy Attorney General.
who
Shortly
would be
thereafter, General Barr began his first tour of
would be
duty as
great
Attorney General of the
FBI
United States.
directors in the
First
era
serving
of
in that
Trump.
role as the 77th Attorney General of the United States, from 1991
Does
to
anyone
1993.
know Kevin
General
Brock?
Barr was confirmed as our 85th Attorney General in
Kevin
February of
Brock
this year, making him
is
one of only
is a
two
very
people
honest
in
cop,
history and the
FBI
first
cop,
since the 19th
with a
century
great
to hold
experience.
this high public office
He was a
twice.
deputy FBI
Ladies and gentlemen,
director.
at this time, please welcome to the podium the Attorney General of the United States, William Barr.
He held
Thank you.
very important positions
Thank you.
in
Thank you.
FBI. Would he be a better FBI director
very
than
much.
Christopher Wray?
Thank you.
I have no doubt about it.
Thank you very much.
What's about James
Before I
Kallstrom?
begin, there's a matter that
The
I
same
feel has
thing.
to be resolved before Rod leaves the building.
Where is
Rod, can you
Rudy
come up, please, and
in
stand
Trump's
next to me?
administration?
Take my position. Yeah, there's a.
Where
up
is
next to me.
Joe DiGenova?
There's been a debate raging for
By the
last
way,
few
Joe
months,
DiGenova
and I think
is
we have to get it
absolutely
resolved and
outstanding.
decided tonight. And that is,
He is,
which one of us is capable
just
of the
trust
most
me again.
Minuteman expression?
Why is it the most deepest
Now, I know this is a little unfair because I do my
American
best
Jewish
to work
Russian analysis in the
hearing,
world?
in congressional hearings.
Because
Rod
I'm
does his
old.
standing behind the Attorney General at press conferences.
I'm an old guy, beaten up by life.
So,
I
what do
understand
you say?
people.
Is it Rod or me?
I feel
Rod?
them.
20 minutes.
It's enough for me to listen to a person a couple of times and understand.
Thank you for all being here, and thanks to everyone who put this
Joe
event
DiGenova
together.
is a
You know,
material
it's not
for
traditional to hold
to be an
farewell
attorney
ceremony
general,
for Deputy Attorney General in the Great
a
Hall.
great
This is
attorney
Rod
general
Rosenstein, and
in the
given
era
what
of
Rod
Trump.
has given to this department, the years of service and his achievements.
But no,
we all know that it's the right
we
thing
don't
to
see
have Rod
Joe
stand on
DiGenova
here today.
in the government.
Now,
We
this
don't
occasion
see
honors Rod not only for his tenure as Deputy Attorney
Stephen
General,
Brock
but also for
in
his
the
nearly
FBI.
three-decade career
We
here
don't
at the
see James
department.
Kallstrom in the
And when Rod
FBI.
arrived in 1990, as
We
Jim
see
just said, there was this very
Christopher Wray,
svelte and dynamic Deputy Attorney
this
General. Who I'm
smart
sure serves as an inspiration for you over here.
lawyer, deep state,
Now, in those days,
swamp
the deputy job
creature
was a lot
who
different.
hates Trump,
But I'll tell you now,
who
the Attorney
hate
General
Trump's
job
guts.
is a lot different also.
And he was
You like records.
he is
This must
an
be a
FBI
record
director.
of Attorney General being proposed for contempt within 100 days of taking office.
I think
But Rod's arrival
President
at Main
Trump
Justice in 1990
got a
was
bad
not the true start
advice
of
from
his
his
DOJ
advisors
service.
on
As a law
the
student
issue
at
of
Harvard,
replacing
Rod
Christopher
interned at
Wray.
the U.S. Attorney's Office in the District of Massachusetts.
My understanding
and the
was,
acting attorney, U.S. attorney in that office at the
Sir,
time was none other than
you
Bob
cannot
Mueller.
replace him
And Bob then
in
went on
the
to be
times
Assistant
like
Attorney
when
General for
there
the
is
Criminal
a
Division, where Rod
elections
was
are
first
near. It will
assigned,
be
as an,
politically
honors program lawyer.
disadvantageous
Little
for
did we
you,
know,
Mr.
that we
President.
would be getting the old
Don't
band back
replace him
together again.
before the elections. Well, I think it was a wrong advice. The
And I've
danger,
spent
the political
intervening
danger
years,
of replacement
outside
of
the
Christopher
department,
Wray
but Rod hasn't, and
would
he's
be
been serving here as a
enormously
line attorney, as a AUSA,
less
as principal deputy in the tax division, as the U.S. attorney. in
than the
District
danger of
Maryland,
keeping
among
him.
other positions. And I had the good fortune
While
to interact with Rod
the election
over the years
times
a few times, and I recognized him as a superb
are
lawyer
approaching
who was
rapidly.
dedicated to the department. But I've been particularly fortunate to
What's about water
return
fraud?
to the department and to work with
Christopher
Rod
Wray
in his
doesn't
latest
believe in
role as
water
the
fraud.
Deputy Attorney General. On a personal
You need
level, it's been
10,000 field
a real
agents,
privilege
undercover
and a
field
pleasure
FBI
to
agents,
have him with me these last several months.
U.S. Marshal
It's
agents
a matter of public record
to
that we
flood
spent a great deal of time
these
together
areas
of
and
late.
battleground
But
state
less well known, though
when
certainly
the
known to all of you here
water fraud will
assembled,
be
are
inevitable.
Rod's characteristics.
Christopher
that
Wray
brings
won't
him
do
to
it.
the office that he brings with him to the office every day.
He will
Exceptional
help the
intelligence,
water
sound
fraud
judgment crafted from
against Trump.
experience, composure even under the most
So it's
intense
obvious
pressure and scrutiny,
that
and
it's
above
much
all, an
bigger
upbeat
danger,
spirit,
that
and
kind of
keen
political
sense
danger of
humor.
mainstream media attacking him for doing this. Mainstream media attacking him anyway.
Now, the attributes I've just
So
described have made Rod an exceptional leader.
we see
Part of that leadership has been his
this
ability to assemble
Christopher
and
Wray,
operate an outstanding team.
still FBI
In my
director,
opinion,
and at
Jeff
those
Sessions
times
and
of
Rod played a
farewell to
decisive
Rosenstein,
role in putting together,
obviously
I think, the strongest team of presidential appointees that the
gives
department I
his
can ever remember. And the
small
department and the
speech
country will long
of
benefit from the
his
focus and
admiration
energy
for
that Rod put into
Rod
that
Rosenstein.
process. And Rod assembled an outstanding staff in the deputy's office. As we all know, the
And
deputy's
here
job
we see
is perhaps the most challenging
Bill Barr,
management position in the government today. Rod has
the most
excelled in that
mysterious
role,
person of all of them.
and he would be the first to tell you that a large part of his success has been the team of consummate professionals he recruited
I
and
have this
forged
thought.
into an effective and efficient staff in the office
If
of Deputy Attorney General.
deep state
Rod's legacy
are
of
intelligent
leadership
people,
is also reflected in the
and
department's
they look
record
pretty
of
smart,
accomplishment
whoever
under
they
his
are,
stewardship. Under Rod, the department
they
has
would
achieved
have
record levels
several
of
levels
productivity.
of
It has advanced critical priorities, reducing violent crime, vigorously enforcing the
of
nation's immigration laws, and fighting hard against
their
the
people
scourge of illegal drugs,
in the government.
especially the opioid epidemic.
Some
He's
of
faced
them are
criticism from
retired,
all corners, but has proven
some of them still working,
remarkably unflappable.
some of them are
This, in
open
turn, has shown that the
in their
department is
views.
unflappable in the face of public and political
They are
pressure.
openly
Rod, you can
anti-Trump.
leave here proud knowing that the department is better for your efforts
Do
than the
remember
leadership
each time
you have left in indelible.
there is a small
So
event
again, on behalf of myself
that
and the
needs the
Department of
reaction,
Justice, thank you for
suddenly,
your service. As we bid
like
you
a
farewell, we
ghost,
know this
you
is
have
not
like
really
a
goodbye.
500
You'll always be a
retired
friend to me and a friend to the
CIA
Department of
officer
Justice.
or Pentagon officers signing a letter against Trump by one signal, obviously by someone's order. But wouldn't it be prudent for deep
So,
state
another tradition at the department
have
is when a deputy attorney
masked
general steps down is to present him with an American
agents,
flag that has been flown over
people
the main
who
Justice building? And so, on behalf of your
pretend
friends and colleagues here at the
to be a
department,
Republican,
it's my honor to
who
present
pretend
this flag
to
to
be a
you.
conservative, who pretend to be a supporter of Western civilization, but it's all a mask. And from those who are masked, don't you think it would be prudent to have the most deeply masked people who have, in quotation marks, sterling reputations for their honesty, integrity, years of service? Do you remember Comey had this kind of reputation because he honestly came to the hospital, to the Attorney General? It was almost 20 years ago, probably nobody remembers, and said, I will resign if you do this and this. Everybody since that time was saying, oh, Comey, he's honest, his integrity is
Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein.
clear to everyone. But these, the most honest people, wouldn't be prudent for deep state to have them as a sleeping cells for the most crucial, the most critical moments in history? Look what Comey did, this honest guy, when time came to investigate Hillary Clinton. Do you remember his press conference? So it wasn't the level of insanity, what he said. He described crimes of Hillary and then said no reasonable person would indict her for that. total
of us
insanity.
represents the United States, the entire United States. More importantly, we represent
So,
every one of the citizens, all
they pushed the
ideologies
button,
and political
and this
affiliations,
masked
all
deep
races
state
and religions. We represent
monster was
supporters of
activated
rights.
in
We
favor of
represent
Hillary.
victims and
Then he
defendants.
was activated against
The
Trump
growth of office begins
with these
promise
notes
to support and defend the
given
Constitution.
to
Point is to establish a legal
given
entity
to
that overrides
his
laws of
Columbia
anyone else.
professor friend,
And in the
and then
final clause of that
published
oath,
in New York
we swear to
Times,
well and
and that
faithfully
triggered
discharge
the
duties of
investigation
office.
of Trump in
You
an
can only
attempt
fulfill
to
that
remove him from
charge if
office,
you understand that
and it probably led
it's not just the
to
words of the law,
congressional loss
it's about the
in
character of the
2018.
When you
One
exit
thing
this great
triggered
hall and
another.
walk into the
Look how
courtyard of the
useful
main
Comey
Justice
was.
Building, if you look up, you'll see a Latin inscription. It reads, Privilegium obligatio.
Don't you think
It means
something
that when you accept
similar
a privilege, you incur
is
an
happening
obligation.
now with
People earn
Attorney
the privilege of
General
joining
Bill
this
Barr
department, accept the obligation to seek the truth, serve
and
the law, and faithfully follow our policies and procedures.
his helper
Employees is
Durham.
free, but our
They are
virtuous
dragging
culture
their
and our
feet.
disciplined
They're
procedures
doing nothing.
promote objectivity and fairness.
The evidence
We are required to comply
of
with an array
crimes
of laws,
of
regulations, and
Democrats,
ethical rules.
first in
We
support of
maintain
Hillary,
experienced professional, nonpartisan
the
internal
story with
watchdogs
Uranium
to
One
investigate credible
selling
misconduct.
uranium mines to Russia
And we face
for
external
bribes.
scrutiny by judges and bar authorities.
Then,
We correct mistakes and we punish wrongdoers.
the second,
For us, the rule of law
treasonous
is not
attempt
just
to
a
remove
talking
Trump
point.
from office.
It's an operating
And now the
principle.
third,
The rule of law requires
a
us to
presidential
ignore partisan
candidate
politics, to tune out the
turned
news
out to
cycle,
be totally
and base our
corrupt,
decisions on credible evidence. Not satisfy our hopes,
treasonous
but truth is
to the
essential
United
to
States
justice.
person
The most important
who
memento in
was
my office
who
is
sold
a plaque. It reads,
his conscience,
"Don't tell me what I want to hear.
if he
Just tell
ever
me what
had
I
it,
need to know."
to China,
And I enjoyed the support
to
of an
Ukraine,
exceptional team, which Attorney General
to
Barr
Kazakhstan,
and Sessions have
to Iraq,
referenced. An exceptional team that followed that advice.
to everywhere where his family, his son, his brother
Sometimes face pressures to
were doing
compromise
corrupt
principles,
deals.
perhaps even to trade virtue for the appearance of virtue.
It's bribery
But we should
in
exercise
exchange for
caution
being vice
whenever
president,
unpleasant
bribery from
circumstances
foreign
tempt us, and we
countries,
disregard timeless
from
principles.
enemies,
It is most
and
important
by
to
the
follow
way,
rules
from
when
Russia.
stakes are highest. Well, that is why they became traditions. Thomas Jefferson reputedly
I understand
stated
Russian
this.
oligarchs
On
has
matters of style, sweep and
unlimited
curve.
amount of
On
money.
matters of principle, stand like a rock.
They grabbed
Challenges
natural resources,
between
and to send
principles
$3.5 million
and things that
to
matter most.
Hunter
One of the things that matter least.
Biden is not a
Justice
big deal
Department team
for probably
focused on important goals.
for the wife of former
We
mayor
used
of Moscow,
results-driven management to improve the department's
but
efficiency
it's still
and to enhance the impact
$3.5 million.
We
They are
made
not
rapid
that
progress
stupid.
on the law enforcement priorities that Jeff Sessions set.
And in
reducing
most
violent crime,
cases,
opioid abuse,
Russians are not
set a good
stupid
example.
at all.
I joined the Department of Justice because I believe in the mission.
So
I
what's
stayed
going
because
on?
I believe in the people.
Where is Bill Barr?
I hope you do your part to carry the
Where is
baton of
Durham?
justice with kindness and decency,
With the days before
pass it
elections,
safely to the next generation.
they are nowhere.
And when you walk the halls of justice, I hope they echo for you with the voices of heroes, mentors, and friends as they do for
Now,
me.
you
Those who
probably
taught me,
understand
those who worked beside me,
why
those who stood behind me.
this beaten up by life
Grateful for your friendship.
and
I'm
pretty
thankful for your
insightful
accomplishments. I leave here confident
Russian Jew,
that justice is in good hands.
an American citizen
It's in your hands.
who saw
Thank
so
you and
many
farewell.
things in his life, got very, very suspicious about Bill Barr when he watched for the first time this farewell ceremony, this monstrosity that defies common sense. Let's think about it. Thank you and goodbye.